I want to thank you for coming back to the table. We are talking to legendary hit makers about their commercial success in the music industry and how to make good music. You heard from Sean Garrett. He's going to come back in just a moment, but the man you're about to meet right now shaped the careers of hip-hop icons like Killer Mike, Jeezy, 3 6 Mafia, Bone Thugs and Harmony. Jerry Clark went from working as an intern to holding executive level positions at some of the biggest record labels in the country. He is the host of the podcast Story Time with Legendary Jerry, but he's also a teacher, focusing on the next generation of music moguls and leaving his stamp at the world's busiest airport as well. Welcome, Big Jerry. Legendary
Portia, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Listen, I love the story of the intern to executive.
Yes.
Right? Because that is so many of your lessons are just in the hustle of going from those positions over the years.
And Portia, let me say, starting off, I interned at 2 labels. I interned at an independent and I interned at a major label. But starting off at that bottom tier of street promotions and hand-to-hand guerrilla marketing, the benefit of that is I had to wear many hats. So it taught me how to, 1, cultivate relationships. 2, hustle. But if you don't have the hustle in you, you just don't have it.
Right.
So coming up, going to retail stores, which we don't have that no more. People don't.
I know. It's just all so different, right? Which is why I wanted you to be a part of this conversation.
It's a total different game now. And I've had to adjust. So starting off as an intern at that bottom level, wearing many hats, it taught me everything. Like I say, I had to talk to people at radio stations, had to talk to people at retail stores.
And you had to be a salesman, essentially, right?
You definitely had to. You definitely had.
Like, for folks who don't understand, right? Like,
we was out putting poster boards on the poles out. We were at clubs talking to DJs, giving vinyl. That's another. Right.
So, like, I heard Outkast for the first time because somebody was on Howard's campus passing out cassette tapes.
No, Portia, a snippet tape.
Right. Exactly, because it wasn't the whole thing.
We're showing that
we are dating ourselves as classics, not
exactly.
old, right?
Exactly.
But the lessons that you learned are what moved you up and up and up and up. How do you go? Because I feel like there's a teachable moment from the college teacher about making an impression on the folks who make the decisions and make the music.
Well, I'm going to say this, and I'm humbly speaking, that my mentor / uncle, may he rest in peace, Mr. Stanley Bethel. He told me when I expressed the interest in getting in the music business, he said, Jerry, you have a certain gift that when you walk in a room, people gravitate towards you and they want to hear what you have to say. And he said, there's 4 things you can do.
What were the 4 things?
You ready, Portia? He said you could be a preacher, you could be a pimp, you could be a politician, or you can go on the music business.
Me and a music producer, clearly, which we know which
one. Or promotion marketing guy.
Promotion,
having
and that worked.
And the music industry chose me. And here I am now, still relevant after 30 plus years.
And let's talk about what is it, like, for people who don't always understand what record executives do, right? Because some people think it's a guy in the back office, fussing and fighting over, the high-level decisions. That's part of it. But it's really something to cultivating talent and having an ear for what good music sounds like. Explain, because those are two sides of the brain kind of activity.
Well, see, I've been on both sides. So I've been on the label side as an executive, and I also had production companies, which are like, many labels where I've done deals with the label. So I've had to, on my own, be my own A&R for the artists I've signed, meaning pick out records, pick out great songwriters and producers like Sean Garrett. But then on the label side, I had to deal with decisions on releases and getting records played on the radio. So things like that. So it helped mold me totally into who I am, and who over the years being an executive
and how you had to really change things, right? Because when we look at how music was, I don't want to sound like the auntie, right? But back in the day,
I was gonna say it is what it is.
But you had to have a good video, right? You had to have a tangible, a deliverable to put in somebody's hands. What does it look like now when your competition or not your competition, but the method of delivery is social media, right?
Yeah, it's totally different, and I was just talking about this recently, and we speak about this often in our class, the changes of the music industry from hard physical copies, from a cassette to CD to streaming, and just having to adjust our way of thought and our thought process and reinventing ourselves. I always say I had to reinvent myself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we get stuck in, well, this is the way that it was done, and that's the way. But no, you have to change with the times.
Right. I remember when there was a time when everybody was, oh my gosh, all these streaming early on, and artists felt like they were taking their music, right? But now everyone just had to adjust and figure it out.
Yeah. And so I was talking about this off camera, how, like I mentioned earlier, how I came up in the street promotions, guerrilla, hand to hand. And as I grew as an executive, but now labels, once it came where you can touch a button, whether on a computer, on your phone, and touch masses, they got rid of all those street promotions departments.
Right, because now the artist just posts, here it is.
And then even with radio, like I'm a radio promo guy, radio is not the end all be all anymore. It used to. Once you got your record on the radio, everybody was like, oh.
So you're not really having to spend as much time trying to sell that part. It's
everything is totally different.
Yeah, it is.
And I'll say it again, I had to adjust and reinvent myself.
You have done so very well. We're going to take a break here because the conversation is going to continue. Sean's coming back, and then we're going to have a bit of a little more of the master class, the lessons that they want you to learn, and how the work they're doing really on a grassroots level is a part of raising the next generation of music artists and executives. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I really want to thank you for season 3 of Portia. It's because of loyal viewers like you that we keep getting to share this daily dose of positivity all across the country. So just a reminder, I still need you to like, comment, and subscribe. And go ahead and tell your friends. You can catch us now in Orlando, in San Francisco, in Atlanta, and all across the country on Fox Soul. Tell your friends. We'll see you soon on Portia.